Hello again, everybody. Did you see an article in the Daily Telegraph recently that was titled, "Just How Psychopathic Are Surgeons?" Well, I read it so that you don't have to. It's a bit of a tired old theme that journalists roll out from time to time, but I thought it was worth a look. The article was triggered by a trial of a plastic surgeon in Nottingham who broke into the home of one of his colleagues and stabbed him. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. The journalist asked the question, might the traits that make a good surgeon mask something more troubling? Let's look at it in more detail. Many people are, of course, understandably horrified at the thought of cutting into somebody and then drilling and sawing bones. Well, I do these things every week and I'm not a psychopath. Probably. But what is a psychopath? There are people who have low empathy and high impulsivity. They can be very charming but manipulative. Hannibal Lecter springs to mind.
I didn't.
No. No, you ate yours.
Psychologists distinguish between good and bad psychopaths. Good psychopathic traits include things like being calm under pressure, strong control of emotions, and being tolerant of risk. You, of course, need all of these things to do surgery, but you also need to be detached, precise, and courageous. Several studies have shown that surgeons score higher than average on certain dark triad traits: psychopathy, narcissism, Machiavellianism, but they're still lower than the general population in terms of actual antisocial behaviour. Surgeons are usually very competitive. We like to be in control. It takes years to train us. We have to do long hours, difficult exams, and ruthlessly climb the career ladder. In my training, it was sometimes brutal. You needed thick skin. But these experiences also made me more compassionate, because I can remember what it felt like to be on the receiving end of a cold, arrogant consultant. Not everybody gets there, but of course that's life. The way we are trained and selected seems to work very well. The bad apples are fortunately few and far between. There's a much bigger emphasis these days on working as a team, encouraging people to speak up if they're uncomfortable or concerned about what's happening in theatre. It's been a huge and very important change in the way that we work. Which groups of surgeons are the most psychopathic? Well, number one is neurosurgeons, number two, cardiothoracic surgeons, and then, of course, yours truly, orthopaedic surgeons. I think you have to be very, let's say, particularly robust to operate on brains and hearts. They truly do have your life in their hands, and I wouldn't want to do it. During my general surgical training, I really loved repairing hernias and removing lumps and bumps, but the cancer work didn't appeal to me. Orthopaedics really did it for me, and I felt right at home doing hip surgery. But regardless of which sort of surgery you do, you need to be comfortable with pressure and stress. You have to be decisive. You mustn't freeze when things go wrong. And yes, that sometimes comes with a hard edge. There's a culture of hierarchy, big egos, and even bullying at times, though thankfully that's got a lot better within my professional lifetime. What's really important, though, is emotional regulation. Not whether somebody feels fear or empathy, but whether they can manage those feelings in stressful circumstances like doing surgery. There's a big difference between having traits like fearlessness and detachment and having full-blown clinical psychopathy. In fact, the best surgeons are often those who can switch those traits on and off depending on the situation. I love doing surgery, but I also love looking after my patients in clinic, guiding them through their diagnosis and treatment options and helping them to recover from surgery. So, are surgeons psychopaths? Well, not really, but we probably aren't the gentlest people in the room either. If I'm operating on you, you don't want me panicking at the sight of blood. You want steady hands, sharp focus and confidence. That's not psychopathy, that's just doing my job. I hope you enjoyed this. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching. See you all again next time.